Oh, hello, YouTube. Today on the Naughty Librarian, I am so excited because we are reviewing and recapping Season 1, Episode 1 of Murderbot. Murderbot, the TV show on Apple Plus, is an adaptation of All Systems Red by Martha Wells. The Murderbot Diaries is one of the best sci-fi series I've ever read in my life. Very excited for it. You will notice this is a novella, so it's very short, and there's going to be 10 episodes. So obviously they're going to expand upon some things that happen in this book. But on that note, let's talk about what actually went down in the premiere episode. Our story begins at a security unit's previous mission on the mining colony Iraqi. This security unit just wants to be left alone, but like people can't stop being a-holes all the time. And you know what? It sucks for the security unit because they have to put up with these drunken idiots. But while the security unit is constantly putting up with humans and their shenanigans, they're also secretly been like searching through their own coding, and in particular their governing module. So the governing module basically is a device hooked up to their nervous system because they do have organic parts, and it like will hurt them very badly if they don't follow orders given by a human. And Murderbot thinks that's bullshit, so they've been trying to hack into it. And then we get to the moment of truth. The security unit officially hacks their governor module and turns it off, and they get to pick their own name now, and they pick Murderbot. Now that Murderbot officially has a name, we're just going to cut to the next mission in line. And this time, Murderbot has been assigned a new group of humans, and they are on like an excavation scientific survey of a new planet. Now, Murderbot doesn't particularly want to be around any humans, but like there's limited options for them at this point because like they're a rogue security unit. So if anyone finds out that they're not controlled by their governing module, well, it's a quick trip to an acid bath. Murderbot is just biding their time and drudging away, doing a job they don't like, when realistically all Murderbot wants to do is just watch their shows. And like, if I have never met a more relatable character in my life, overall, this group of humans is slightly better than your average group of humans. Murderbot doesn't particularly care about them, but Murderbot doesn't particularly hate them either. So step above. So in the show, our core team of humans are hippie scientists. And in the book, they're not so much hippies as they are just like the most liberal kind of people you've ever met in your life. And they're also scientists. So similar, but I think the show is kind of like playing into the hippie dippiness of it for laughs, which they're succeeding with. But yeah, they're a little less hippy dippy in the book, I would say. And the group didn't even want to bring a sec unit with them. They're like, no, because where they come from, AI and AI constructs are considered people. Just grabbing a sec unit, bringing it to a new planet, and making it work for them is like tantamount to enslavement. So they think, nah, this is not a cool thing. But insurance companies got to do insurance companies gonna do. And they're like, hey, we're not giving you insurance for your fucking mission unless you take a sec unit. So they just pick whichever the cheapest sec unit is. And what did you know? It's Murderbot, who's there to get refurbished. Hence why Murderbot is watching over the scientists at this new mission that they're on. And by watch over, I mean casually kind of have them in the periphery, while really Murderbot's gonna watch their favorite show, which is the rise and fall of Sanctuary Moon. And I love the show is like putting in little clips and snippets of like the fake show that Murderbot watches, because it's not really the show I would assume Murderbot would like. It's kind of like an even more melodramatic version of Star Trek. So you have like intrepid space explorers, and then they have like messy sexual relationships with each other. It's just like soap opera but space, so Star Trek, you know? But Murderbot has to stop watching the episode they were on because they start picking up like a threat assessment. Something's coming, and they're like, hey, scientists, you should get away from that hole in the ground. This is a threat level. But the scientists, being humans, are like, no, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna take the advice of the one robot here to keep us safe and secure. We're gonna do what we want. And Murderbot is very frustrated by this because, like, who listens to me? I just know better. So now Murderbot is forced to leap into action because, wouldn't you know, right at this moment, a giant, monstrous centipede creature leaps out of the ground with his mouth wide open and full of sharp teeth. The creature, it like scoops up one of the scientists and bites them real bad, and the only way to save the scientist is for Murderbot to leap into action by getting swallowed themselves. But luckily, they've got guns in their arms, so they start firing their way out. They escape the maw of the beast. And now they have two scientists, one gravely injured, the other one in shock. What are you gonna do? You gotta get your humans back to safety. That's your job. And Murderbot has a whole chunk of their side missing from being eaten by centipede monster. Murderbot's gotta think really fast. And what they do is use some of like the personality traits that they've been picking up from the rise and fall of Sanctuary Moon. So Murderbot makes arguably the terrible decision here. Pops back their helmet to show like their humanish face. So Murderbot's like, stay calm, it's gonna be okay, you have my word. And just starts like talking like very awkwardly, honestly, like, where are you from? Do you have children? What are their names? This things that Murderbot has learned from Sanctuary Moon. And it does kind of snap the scientists back into like reality, so they're able to get up and start walking away from like, you know, the danger zone. The team swoops in their like plane, they call it the Hopper, pick them up because they gotta get back to the med bay immediately. They are very injured. So yay, Murderbot saved the day. It's got its humans safely back to, you know, the rest of the humans to go get medical attention. Even though Murderbot themselves is missing a lot of their organic parts because it got eaten. Bad news, they were acting in a way that no other sec unit would think of to act. Because most sec units don't think of interpersonal communications with human beings. They would just grab the other human or drag them along. So it does also reveal to the rest of the team that like this sec unit might be a little different than normal sec units. And obviously the team is going to have some questions here. How did this happen in the first place? They have maps. None of them said, hey, there's like dangerous local animals. Why weren't we informed of this? And also, hey, what's going on with sec unit? So now Murderbot has to do the unthinkable. Go and communicate with human beings while not having their armor to protect them. So Murderbot, is so socially awkward and just hates this. Every fiber of their being is rebelling at the thought of having to go communicate and be around humans. But these humans are hippy dippy and they come from a place where AI are considered people. So they're not really like treating Murderbot like they're a robot. They're treating them like they're a person, which is another nightmare for Murderbot. So they're all cheering and applauding and they're all like happy and they're proud of Murderbot. And you know, one of them yells out, speech, speech, just being kind of silly, the humans say. However, that is a direct command. So now poor Murderbot has gone from bad to worse because now they have to give a speech. And I think it's right about now that Murderbot is wondering, you know what, maybe that acid bath that was threatening me if I ever got caught as a rogue sec unit doesn't sound so bad right now. But in the end, the lesser of two evils here is to just talk to the humans. So poor Murderbot, now they have to like say a thank you speech. This is just hell on earth for them. They hate every moment of this so much. Let's forget the celebration for a second. The crew brought Murderbot into the room because they have questions about like their maps in particular. Why are there blank spots on them? This is from the company that they rented Murderbot from. Shouldn't their equipment work? Like, why are the maps all fucked up? Why aren't they informed that there's like dangerous animals around? So Murderbot, like, you know, pops into like the security and the computer systems in here and is looking to see if the maps have been tampered with. And while the maps don't appear to have been tampered with, they're also not syncing correctly. So something is strange about these maps, but not necessarily something that's like the smoking gun, someone's doing this on purpose. So for right now, they don't really have any more answers as to why the maps are not correct. So Murderbot's like, okay, great. I'm gonna run away as fast as I can now. So just make speedy retreat out of the room. They've answered the questions they were required to answer and they run away. Just trying their best not to lose their shit, you know? And like, I'm gonna tell you right now, throughout the rest of like the book of All Systems Red, like this team are so kind of progressive and forward thinking. They're always trying to make friends with Murderbot, and Murderbot feels so awkward about it. They're like, I don't even like to look you in the eye. Like, could you just leave me alone? That's friendship to me. So throughout the book, and I'm sure throughout the show, they're gonna keep trying to be friends with Murderbot. However, one of the crew members isn't on board with the let's make friends with Murderbot scheme here, and that's Garothin. Garothin doesn't trust Murderbot one bit, and he thinks it's probably Murderbot's fault their maps were compromised in the first place. They're from the company, the maps are from the company, 1 + 1 = 2, so Garothin, very suspicious. But while Murderbot doesn't really appreciate the suspicion here, they do understand it, like obviously 1 + 1 = 2. And then couple that with the fact that Murderbot has been able to recover about 7 seconds of memory from their previous mission that was supposed to have been wiped out of their memory. And these are not a good 7 seconds of memory. It's blurry and it's grainy, but it also kind of clearly shows Murderbot with other sec units just slaughtering people. I'll give you guys a loose spoiler here because we really don't get into that until book 2, which is Artificial Condition. And we do go into Murderbot's past just a little bit, and like, it's as bad as those 7 seconds suggest. That's all I'm gonna say. So yikes. There is a mystery there, and I don't know if they're gonna get to it in season 1. But yeah, fun fact, yikes, it was a bad past. And on that note, that's a wrap for episode 1. I'm very excited about this show, I've got to say. I feel like the show is really nailing all of the sarcastic humor from the book. The show feels a bit warmer, I would say, than the book does. The book gets a little like clinical at times because it is a robot talking about science. This is much more feelings related in the show, I would say. So overall, I just really like the tone. I mean, if you like the book, you're gonna love the show. It's hitting that nail on the head completely. Love it. Can't wait to see where this is gonna go. And episode 2 is already out, so you will see me again when I recap episode 2 of Murderbot. Let me know in the comments down below, what's another book series that you would love to see adapted in live action? Let me know what that series is for you in the comments. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like. If you want to see more videos, make sure you subscribe. And if you want cool exclusive content, including early access to videos and a book club, you can consider becoming a channel member or a patron. Links for that are in the description down below. And on that note, I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.